A pleasant afternoon to each and everyone. This is Teacher Villorita M. Mercado from Bagac National High School, your facilitator. For our most essential learning competency, describe the changes in the position and length of shadows in the surroundings as the position of the sun changes. So our lesson for today is about lights and shadows. Every day when we go to school, we see so many things around us. During the day, we get a sufficient amount of light from the sun, which allows us to see the objects clearly. But when you enter a dark room, you'll not be able to see the objects around you because there is no light present there. You can see things in the dark only when you switch on the light. Light is one of the most important things that is required to see objects around us. Light is a form of energy called electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation comes from the sun and other sources. Light is made up of photons, which is the basic of all light. Let us try to find out the different properties of light. Number 1, light travels in a straight line. Second, light travels much faster than the sound. For example, thunder and lightning starts at the same time, but we will see the lightning first. Another example is when a starting pistol is fired, we see the smoke first and then we hear the bang. Third, light travels very fast, about 300,000 kilometers per second or 186,000 miles per second. At this speed, light could travel the equivalent of 8 times around the world in 1 second. Fourth, light can create shadows. We see things because they reflect light into our eyes. This is literally the only way we get to see things. All objects we see either create light or reflect light. Before we move on, let's have a brief summary of the properties of light. Number 1, light travels in a straight line and is a form of energy. Second important information, light travels much faster, 1,000,000 times faster than sound. Third, we see things because they reflect light into our eyes. Fourth, shadows are formed when light is blocked by an object. Fifth, visible light is only a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The other facts are invisible to the human eye but not necessarily the eyes of other animals. Since we are talking about light, what do you think is our major light source? Yes, correct. Our major light source is the sun. Where else does light come from? Light comes from natural and man-made or artificial light. I have here pictures of moon, water, and mirror. Do you think they are light sources? No, these items are not light sources. Instead, they are reflecting light from other sources. Let us try to discuss how do we see things. So let us try to find out the procedures. First, light coming from object enters the eye through the cornea, then the pupil. It is focused clearly by the lens on the retina. The light-sensitive cells of the retina gather information about patterns of light and dark color and movement and send it through the optic nerve. Information entering the brain through the optic nerve is then transmitted through more nerve pathways to the visual cortex. Here, the patterns of light and dark color and movement are interpreted. Finally, the brain, based on past experiences, can then understand what it sees. And those are the processes on how do we see things. We already know how do we see things. Now, let us try to discuss how do we see color. Light from most light sources looks white, but actually it contains all the colors of the spectrum known as the rainbow. If an object looks blue, it is absorbing every color except blue, which is reflecting off and entering your eyes. If an object looks orange, it is absorbing every color except orange, which is reflecting off and entering your eyes. If an object looks red, I bet you get the idea. How does light reflect? The angle of reflection is always equal to the angle of incidence. Light can only be reflected in a straight line. Let us check some facts about light and shadows. A shadow is formed behind an object when it blocks the light. Some light can pass through translucent materials such as sunglasses. The sun is a source of light. The moon is not a source of light. We can see it because it reflects light from the sun. A mirror is highly polished and reflects light. We can see images of ourselves and other objects in mirrors. Lights blocked by opaque materials like mug. Next, number 6. Clear glasses is transparent and allows all light to pass through. 7. A periscope has two angled mirrors that reflects the light. This enables us to see around corners. Let us further discuss these facts about light and shadows. Light acts both as wave and particle, depending on the kind of matter it comes into contact with. Light will act differently. There are 3 different types of materials that light will or will not pass through. They are the transparent, translucent, and opaque. Transparent objects. These objects allow light to pass through them. One can clearly see through transparent objects, and transparent objects do not cast shadows because they do not block light. Examples of transparent objects are glass, lens, clean plastics, diamond, clear cellophane sheet, water, and air. While opaque objects do not allow light to pass through them. One cannot see through opaque objects, and opaque objects cast dark shadows as they block light completely. Examples of opaque objects are apple, brick, cup, stone, and can. Translucent objects, on the other hand, allow light to pass through them partially. One can see through translucent objects but not very clearly. Translucent objects cast faint shadows as they block light partially. Example of translucent object is a frosted window panel. And those are the different materials that allows or do not allow light to pass through them. One day, on a hot sunny day, while you are walking, you notice that you are not alone. And everywhere you go, there is this black image formed on the ground which imitates your movement. Don't be afraid, because this black image formed on the ground is actually called a shadow. A shadow is a dark shape made when some objects block the light. You must have a source of light in order to have shadows. Any object, living or non-living, that can block light can cast shadows. But how does light form shadow? Light rays travel in a straight line, radiating out from the light source. If rays are blocked by an opaque object, A shadow forms where the light cannot reach. If the light source is more closer to the object, more light is blocked and a longer shadow is formed. You can have many number of shadows depending on the number of light sources. Shadows keep changing throughout the day. How does sunlight cause shadows? The position of the sun affects the position and length of the shadows created. Looking north, the sun appeared to rise in the east and travel across the sky until it sets in the west. Thanks to this natural phenomenon, a sundial is able to tell us the time as long as it is sunny day. As I've said earlier, shadows throughout the day changes. In the early morning, the sun is low in the sky, so the shadows are long. It is longest in the early morning and in the late afternoon. At noon, when the sun is directly overhead, shadows are short or there is no shadow at all. The sun changes throughout the day, which changes the angle which the sun's rays fall on the ground. This is the reason why you see different size and shapes of the shadows. The angle at which a light strikes an object affects the size and shape of its shadows. Shadows are longer when the light source is at low angle or side-on, and the shadows are shorter if the light source is at higher angled or overhead. While there are factors that affects the size of the shadows. Number 1, the size of the shadow depends on the size of the object. Second, the distance from the light to the object. Third, the distance from the light to the screen. In addition to, the tilt of the Earth's axis affects the length of our shadows. During the summer, our location is tilted towards the sun, so our midday shadows are very short. During winter, our location is tilted away from the sun, so our midday shadows are longer. Let us describe the positions of Earth and the sun when it is daytime. How are they different at night? As Earth rotates on its axis, the different locations on Earth change in position in relation to the sun. A city on Earth that faces toward the sun at noon will rotate to face away from the sun 12 hours later. The positions of Earth and the sun over the course of a 24-hour rotation cause sunrise, sunset, day and night. At all times, half of Earth faces toward the sun, and half faces away from the sun. The half that faces toward the sun is illuminated by the sun's glow. It is daytime on that half of the planet. At the same time, the half of Earth that faces away from the sun is in darkness. It is nighttime on that half of the planet. As Earth rotates, the sun-facing half steadily moves from sunlight into darkness. From our position on Earth, this appears as sunset. Meanwhile, the dark-facing half of Earth steadily moves into the sunlight. We see this process as sunrise. On Earth, it looks like the sun is moving across the sky. Why is this not true? Throughout the day, the sun appears to move from east to west across the sky. In reality, Earth is rotating from west to east. Shadows offer some evidence to support this. You can see the apparent motion of the sun and the movement of shadows during the day. When the sun appears to rise above the eastern horizon in the morning, its light casts long shadows that point to the west. As the sun takes its arc-shaped path across the sky, the shadows change. As the hour approaches noon, the shadows become shorter. When the sun is directly overhead, very little shadow is observed. As the day continues, the sun appears to move toward the western horizon. Again, the shadows lengthen, but now point toward the east. Before clocks and wristwatches were invented, people used the sun's apparent motion to tell time. A sundial uses shadows to determine the time of the day. Let's have a summary on how our shadows formed. Number 1. When the sun shines on the pole, a shadow of pole is cast. Second, at different time of the day, the shadow will be at different place and the shadow will have different length. Number 3, the rotation of the earth on its axis causes the position and the length of the shadow to change. 4, if an object is placed in an open space, the length and the position of the shadow changes from the west to the east. Shadows are formed when an opaque object is placed in the path of light. Next, shadows are also formed because light travels in a straight line and cannot bend around the opaque object. Thus, a region of darkness where the light cannot reach is formed. Next, the size of the shadow depends on how much light is being blocked by the opaque object. Did you know that there are also types of shadows created by the celestial bodies? And these types of shadows are called the umbra, penumbra, and antumbra. Umbra is the darkest portion of shadows, while penumbra is the edges of the shadow, and antumbra is the shadow at the edges of umbra. You get different types of eclipses depending on the position of shadows. Let us try to find out on what different eclipses you see according to which part of the shadows you're in. If the Earth and the Moon is found in umbra, you get a total solar eclipse, total lunar eclipse, and partial lunar eclipse. During a total lunar eclipse, the entire moon enters the umbra. A partial lunar eclipse occurs when the umbra covers only part of the moon's surface, while a penumbral lunar eclipse occurs when the moon enters the Earth's penumbra. Thus, we get a partial solar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse, and penumbral lunar eclipse. While in antumbra, we get an annular solar eclipse. Do you know that we can calculate the length of a shadow? Shadow Length Calculator is an essential online tool which calculates the length of the shadow projected by an object due to the sun. The tool uses the angle of elevation to find the length of the shadow of an object. To calculate the shadow of an object, the angle of elevation is also required. How do we measure height by shadow? To measure height by shadow, we multiply the length of the tree shadow by your height, and then divide the resulting number by the length of your shadow. For example, if you are 5 feet tall, your shadow is 8 feet long, and the tree shadow is 100 feet long. The height of the tree is 100 times 5 divided by 8 is equivalent to 62.5 feet. Before I end my discussion about light and shadows, let's have these interesting facts about light and shadows. 1. A shadow happens when an object blocks the sun's rays. Shadows are longer in the winter because of the angle of the sun. Second fact, your shadow is longest in the early morning and in the late afternoon. In the afternoon, when the sun is directly above you, your shadow leaves your side for a little while. The sun makes the longest shadows at the beginning and at the end of the day because at that time, the sun is lowest in the sky and aimed at the sides of the various things on the earth. When the sun is directly above you, there is little or no shadow because the light from the sun is falling upon you from all the sides and there is hardly any dark region. A long time ago, people observed the way shadows were formed by the sun and utilized this principle in making the world's most primitive clocks, the sundials. Fourth, the first person to calculate the size of the planet Earth with a high degree of accuracy used simple geometric equations and measurements of shadows. Eratosthenes, the head librarian of the Great Library of Alexandria, performed this feat over 2,000 years ago around 250 BCE. Another fact, any object, living or non-living, that can block light can cast shadows. Next, the smaller the angle between an elongated object and the direction of the light is, the shorter the shadow. On the other hand, the smaller the angle between the direction of the light and the surface on which the shadow occurs is, the longer the shadow. If the object is closer to the light source, the shadow is large. If the surface is curved, there are further distortions. For non-point sources of light, the shadow is divided into the umbra and penumbra. The wider the light source, the more blurred the shadow. If there are multiple light sources, there are multiple shadows, with overlapping parts darker. For a person or object touching the surface, like a person standing on the ground or a pole on the ground, these converge at the point of touch. And those are the different interesting facts about light and shadows. Allow me to end my discussion with the saying from Billy Graham, and I quote, "All the masterpieces of art contain both light and shadow. A happy life is not one filled with only sunshine, but one which uses both light and shadow to produce beauty." A pleasant afternoon to each and everyone.